A very good morning here from Riga. My name is Oskars Priede. I'm your moderator for the whole day, or actually half of the day, in this transnational conference dedicated to vocational education, which is actually one of the priorities in European Union and also, of course, in Baltic countries. And this priority is not only words; it's also proven by evidence because of increased investments that we see in our vocational education. The equipment and all the infrastructure is also modernized, and in many cases, vocational schools are better equipped than general schools. There are projects like this one. Transnational cooperation is fostered throughout different levels. And if we talk about vocational education, I was actually thinking of my brother's son at his point of decision making about next level of education when he was in 9th grade. I asked him the question, so what's next? He said the general school, secondary school. And I asked why. He said, because the teacher said so. And I said, what do you think? And he said, I don't know. And I said to him, let's take a different path here, and let's consult with a career consultant. And interestingly enough, that he ended up being in vocational school, and he was very happy for this choice. And now he is in university, and actually in between he also managed to work for several years in his chosen profession. So I was and still am really happy to see that the young people sometimes, if guided or because of their own interest, choose this path of vocational education. And if we look at the point of view of the student about the vocational education, I have here listed the advantages for students that I completely actually agree with. As I said, vocational schools are in many cases better equipped. Vocational schools and the education as such is a good opportunity to acquire profession, as we all know it, and that can serve as a basis for life fundamentals as regular income and stuff like that. And it also, of course, serves as a stepping stone if we want to achieve higher academic goals and study in the university. That is also possible. And from my own example, I remember I graduated a secondary school, and many of my classmates in the university in first years were way more better in practical tasks and laboratory tasks because of their background of vocational schools. I was purely academically trained, and it was very difficult for me to do some practical stuff in the laboratories when studying in the Riga Technical University. So that's a bit of a personal touch here. I'm very glad to see you all joining us today in this Baltic conference named Deploy Skills Cross-Border Project Conference, the case of BTEC. So the agenda is something that you are well aware of. We have two parts. In the first part, we focus more on our vocational education as such. And in the second part, after the short coffee break, we will have an opportunity to hear about transnational projects in general, and of course also about the particular project that we are talking about today. Right, so this is a little intro from my side. Again, greetings to everybody, and thank you so much for joining this conference. I'm going to give floor to the first speaker here, Mantas Janauskis. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. Labas rytas.
Labas rytas. Okay, just sharing my screen. Hope
yes.
Everyone has a look at it. Okay, it's really good to see so many participants here. I'm really glad, and I believe that while sharing our experiences with all participants, we all learn something from this event. And my aim today, while representing Regional Innovation Management Center, to shortly present the project that started more than 2 years ago. And after that, we'll have also a presenter from Pearson who will present actually the BTEC, the qualification standard that was adopted in 2 schools across the borders, one in Lithuania and one in Latvia. As an organization, the Regional Innovation Management Center mainly works with international projects while helping different organizations, private ones and public ones, or educational institutions to transfer knowledge from one place to another one, or to help them to develop new knowledge while participating in a number of the national projects. Since 2012, we were active participant in European Commission Finance Build Up Skills Initiative, where we actually helped major stakeholders in Lithuania. There were more than 240 of them to draft skills agenda for construction sector to prepare for upcoming, which already implemented requirements in construction sector while building new nearly zero energy buildings. And we were responsible for coordinating these projects and coordinating the stakeholders regarding the agreement, based on which we initiated quite a large-scale project with training of many people in the construction sector on how to actually build specific or to implement specific tasks in the area of construction while building all these new buildings. Also had a project, a large-scale project for preparation of different vocational teachers while allowing or giving them an opportunity to learn on construction sites. That means equipping them with practical hands-on knowledge on to how actually implement different tasks and then transfer this knowledge to students in particular vocational institution. One of the main projects also recently that we participated in is called BImplement. It's one of the 4 European Commission Finance flagship projects for preparation of construction sector, again, construction sector workers and higher level employees or specialists on take up on building information modeling skills, which apparently now implemented in many construction companies and also on state level due to digitization of construction sector. So we are working on European level with a number of international organizations while implementing different projects. And in this case, we also were attracted by and also made a consortium with 2 regional organizations, one in Latvia, Ventspils Vocational College, and one in Panevėžys, as Panevėžys Vocational Training Center, with whom we actually initiated the project, which aims at internationalizing of different institutions and the programs that they have. In this case, we need to talk about global context and changing circumstances. Every single employee in all regions, both in Lithuania or in Latvia, all of them face international partners. They work in many cases in international settings. Even if they don't leave the country or the region, they need these global mindsets. They need to understand what is going on in other countries, and they also need to provide a service which meets global standards. In case of Ventspils, for instance, there are many industries or major industries which are international, including the hospitality sector. Hospitality sector, while it's international, even Lithuanians treat or consider Ventspils of one of the major touristic spots for families. So it's not far away from Latvia, but still it's international. So that means the hospitality sector or other sectors more or less connected to global environments, and in this case, international settings. So our aim within this project was to find a way on how to internationalize participating schools in this project. And there are many ways to do that. In this global context, there are many ways. There are very popular programs or mobility projects where students go across the countries and spend some time in other vocational schools or they simply have all these meetings on the spot while sharing their experiences, like in this conference. But in this case, we wanted to find a path, a quick path for implementation of international strategy or internationalization strategy of particular schools. And for that, we needed to find a specific international standard which would not change the quality standards of the institutions within the project, but they would actually help to complement them with additional insights, with additional knowledge that will make global education accessible to people without leaving the region. So that means they get some global knowledge which is provided on the ground without leaving the country, and while attending the local school, which probably targets local residents, but at the same time, introduction of these systems, quality systems, they allow them to expand their reach beyond their region. So that means they can provide a global education to the ones residing within the region, and at the same time, it helps to internationalize themselves and propose these programs to also other countries or the people from other regions, from Latvia, from Lithuania. So for that, the system was selected, BTEC system was selected. It was implemented in two different educational institutions. And here today, it's also one of the aims to simply distribute this knowledge or to share our experiences. I believe that while sharing these experiences will help others also to have a new perspective, to learn something from this event, because further presentation will explore BTEC. I'm very glad it will be a representative from Pearson who will present BTEC directly. He's the responsible person within Pearson for the development of BTECs. So he is the right person to present what the Pearson BTEC is about. So I don't go very deep into that. And also have experiences that were received or I believe enjoyed even in very difficult times. It was not easy. I believe it was enjoyable time to actually implement these standards and to learn something new. And now is the time to share these experiences, to share with everyone who participates in this seminar and who I'm very glad spent or give us our precious time. And I believe that will help also us to deliver the knowledge and the message that we have today. So the project started quite a long time ago in 2018, but it was prolonged from 2020 to 21 due to COVID circumstances and due to some strategic changes within the project regarding selection of different qualifications. But still, we are at the end of the project, and here we are. This conference basically serves one of the aims of the project to distribute the knowledge or especially experiences that we experienced during these years. This is a project cycle where we started with some gap analysis. We started analyzing the two educational institutions by looking for the changes that might be introduced and also for the visions the institutions might have. And based on these visions and some focus that both institutions have, we initially had additional qualifications, one in advancements related to hospitality, the other one in Ponevėžys in beauty therapy, but we, after some discussions and iterations, decided to proceed with work skills program, which is more general, related to employability skills, but it's also highly applicable across the region for any profession, for any student who wants to get some workable experience or get some employability skills necessary in many or most of the working places. So we start with the gap analysis, made a vision. We selected BTEC. BTEC that means quality standard and means some new processes that need to be introduced into organizational settings, into both of the institutions which participate in the project. And programs introduced, which were implemented both in Lithuania and Latvia. In Lithuania, we had 40 persons trained based on the program and the standards that was implemented. And in Latvia, we had 60 persons. And that is over. All the trainings already have been done. I've got quite positive feedback from participants and from stakeholders participating in the process. So we are very glad to share these experiences with you. And as we started talking about BTEC, and we started, the project while aiming at the selection of international qualifications. I aim to present you shortly the process that both institutions went through in order to get accredited, internationally accredited, and provide BTEC qualifications locally. Providing locally while giving UK type of education. That means even if it's a local process and local outcome, the certificate is issued by Pearson, UK accredited institution. So that means while ending these courses, pupils or students have international education, which is both in Latvian and Lithuanian, and also UK based. So that means it has some additional credentials, with which I believe open up more career opportunities and a better understanding of how it works in different countries and what methods are used in particular cases. So the starting point is about technical things. The potential center just need to fill in an approval form where it agrees that it meets certain standards and has sufficient resources in terms of knowledge. So they have lectures, they have systems intact, they have processes intact, and resources, physical resources that they have facilities, they have equipment specifically needed for implementation of specific program. So after filling in this application form, the process has started, and the initial training days were set. The training dates, which included 2.5 days of training and some inspection of the facilities by Pearson BTEC verifiers. Initially, there is just one visit just to see how the institution looks like, the people around, what's the knowledge level of the center. And then there's a 2.5 days training, which involves more scrutiny in assessing the documentation of the center, and also providing specific training on how to actually implement these standards in the most efficient way. So I guess we had a really enjoyable 2.5 days in Ventspils. I was there as well, and I really liked the training. I really liked the environment, and I'm very happy that we had a live experience. So that means we were participating directly in the audience and got a direct message from a presenter. It was not the case with Panevėžys, because the Panevėžys started more in the COVID phase, and everything went online, including all BTEC related training. So that means even though we started with direct audience or live events, now we turn to, including this conference, we turn to online regime, which showed us different other aspects of BTEC, and it also showed the experience that it's also possible to have this process online, both training and checking or verifying different documentations. So that means we tested 2 different options, and online works as well as a live option. Of course, it's more pleasant to be present while the lecture is there. We can get direct consultancy, but both options actually work for us, and we're very glad that all documents were prepared properly and all trainings were undertaken properly. For the second phase, when all these processes are already established and the major documents are prepared, the documents I will present in the later slide, then there's another form that needs to be filled. It's the second phase process after the training. The educational institution needs to select specific qualification that they want to implement. So that means there are two items here. One element is the processes, the quality processes within the institution, and the other one, it's about the content, about selection of qualification, and then going deeper into that and meeting certain standards related to this qualification. Qualification is already addressed during implementation training, but of course, preparation of materials, all test questions, of course, it's started only after the initial trainings have been made. So when both these forms are filled, all the processes are set up correctly, then the final stage, after submitting the documents, including the CVs or assignment brief examples, the final decision is made by external verifier from Pearson whether the center meets specific requirements. And in case it does, the specific letter is issued, which means that the center gets, or educational institution gets, a specific center number, and from then on forward can call itself BTEC accredited center, which can deliver specific qualifications. Well, there are more than 2,000 qualifications, BTEC qualifications, but in this case was selected only one. But that does not end by itself, because additional qualifications might be selected because the center has all quality procedures already intact. So these are the major documents that needed to be prepared for establishment of a quality system, a BTEC quality system within the institution. It's important to notice that does not change completely the existing quality processes within an organization. It adds some complementary aspects. So it's not a problem to meet the standards for the Ministry of Education in the relevant country, and at the same time meet the standards from Pearson BTEC. These are complementary items, so quality aspects that need to be included. I would probably mention one of them, which is peer review, because that's an important aspect of this quality system. When one teacher or other person within an institution who is qualified to do that actually checks how other teacher prepares assignment brief for the student and whether it's done in a correct manner. So that's an internal quality system that works and was tested in many times by Pearson, and it has some unique characteristics which add on to existing quality system of the organization. I believe representative of institutions from Polynesia and Vespers will talk about more precisely what the challenges with these aspects and what were the issues. But also maybe there were some many benefits that also include benefits included which stem from introduction of the system. So the center handbook needs to be created. That's a general document which lists all center policies, quality related policies, like conflict of interest, assessment policy, internal verification policy. All these documents are combined in a single document. And in Analytics, they need to put the forms that need to be filled, like assessment plan or verification, different verification forms that form a part of the center handbook. And that aims to mainstream this knowledge of BTEC Center across different participants within the institution. And each qualification needs to be prepared in terms of training materials, teaching materials, some organizational aspects, and each qualification needs to have a learner handbook. Learner handbook is very similar to a center handbook, only it is aimed at parents and students in order for them to very quickly understand what is the content, what is the opportunity there, what is BTEC itself, and how it works, what are the rights of the student. So all these documents were prepared in these institutions in a qualitative manner, and they met the standards, and therefore both centers were accredited. So that's the last slide, and that's the work skills qualification that was selected. The total length of the qualification is 180 hours, and as I said before, it's mainly aiming at soft skills development, which are the major skills which are acquired by many organizations that look for employees. And these skills like critical thinking, working in the teams, project management, using your academical skills while applying it in specific working settings. So these are basically work skills in a particular working sectors which are applicable quite horizontally. Therefore, this qualification was selected because it's widely applicable, and it helps vocational schools to strengthen the soft skills aspects, which are also particularly relevant according to many research that have been undertaken recently, and surveys of employers from different countries, including Latvia and Lithuania. So I think this program serves pretty well the needs of the cross-border regions that were selected. But I think these programs are also, qualifications are also open to other institutions, educational institutions that might want to do something similar. So we are open, and I believe other organizations participating in this project are also open to share their experiences. And I believe that these experiences might be useful for you. Even without becoming a BTEC center, you might ask the questions and to get some additional insights on how alternative or complementary quality system in educational setting actually works. So I'm very glad and very thank you for participating. And I believe you will enjoy and have a lot of new knowledge during the summer. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mantas. Thank you so much for this comprehensive insight in the project and its activities, and also the results that you have achieved so far. We are continuing our program, and I'm looking at this very eagerly because what is actually BTEC? What does it stand for? I'm pretty sure many of you know it, but probably not all of us. So I'm very glad that I can give it over to Matt Evans from Pearson Education. Matt? All right, we see you, we don't hear you, so probably it's muted.
There you go. Thank you very much. And thank you for inviting me along to present this morning. So I just want to take you through BTEC and what it's all about and the benefits of it. So I will just share my screen with you. Sorry. Okay, so hopefully you can see the study of world-class qualification slide there. And yeah, so as I said, my name is Matt Evans. I'm the international vocational lead for Pearson. So my role is to basically promote BTEC and help centres implement BTEC, and also work with ministries of education to help introduce BTEC into the country. Sorry, I've just seen my screen has the presentation has disappeared. Okay. Very sorry about this. Okay, so the agenda for today, we're going to look at the increased demand for TVET. What is a BTEC? How can a BTEC help your learners? And something that's always people are always interested is what progression options are available to people with a BTEC. And that's both within your own country and also internationally. And then some questions and answers at the end. So moving on to the next slide. So I'm not, this looks awful. I'm not sure if I'm in control of this or not, but I know you can all see it. So, okay. So basically the increased international demand for TVET, this all stemmed from the World Economic Forum in 2018. It became a very important part of the agenda. And since then, a lot of ministers of education, the governments are kind of getting into this and really paying interest into the need for not just academic qualifications, but narrowing that skills gap, which a lot of workplaces are finding that students come to them with. So the whole idea of technical vocational education and training is to narrow that skills gap, is to basically, it's driven by urbanization, the demographic changes and technological advancements which we see in today's society and also in the workplace. You know, we're seeing a lot of demand and an increase in new job roles and new job types. And I think what we've all experienced over the last year or so with the pandemic really shows how the working world can evolve so quickly and really change in the way that we work. So the demand for TVET has probably never been so high as it is today. This is a presentation, you know, we often get asked to present to countries on TVET. So moving on to the next one, the skills focused education. As I said, in the World Economic Forum in 2018, Jack Ma, who was the founder of Alibaba, a very large e-commerce company, akin to Amazon for a likeness, he came out and said at the WEF that if we do not change the way we teach, 30 years from now, we're going to be in trouble. The knowledge-based approach of 200 years ago will fail our kids. Children should be taught soft skills like independent thinking, values, and teamwork. Very much like Mantas was saying just now with the work skills qualifications which we offer. But also you find that those skills are taught through the BTECs. So whatever BTEC you teach, the advantage of them is you really have this focus on skills development as well as the students learning about their subject of interest. So from a study which Pearson carried out with Nesta and Oxford Martin School, basically they looked at the top skills which recruiters are going to be looking for in 2030. And something they found out, which I think is quite an incredible statistic, is that 65% of children aged 12 in 2018 will do jobs which don't actually exist yet. So if you think back to the same kind of period, say look back 12, 15 years ago, how common was it to hear about people like Instagrammers or bloggers, people making their careers from actually promoting and writing articles for companies actually online. And then other things like drone operators or the introduction into sport of video assistance refereeing. And all of these are new skills and new jobs which people are finding themselves interested in being drawn to and which they have to go into. And as this slide shows, the top skills there, which the study found that companies are looking for, was judgment and decision-making, fluency of ideas, active learning, learning strategies, originality, system evaluations, and monitoring. So it's all those skills which you kind of take for granted when you've been working for a long period of time. But when you look at those students who are finishing their education and they're going into a company, they need to learn those skills. So let's teach them that before they get there so that they're ready. So they don't just come with a fountain of knowledge of the subject, but they know how to actually operate within a working environment. So who actually are Pearson? Well, for those that don't know, we're a large multinational company. We offer a range of services, so teacher services, learning resources. We do qualification and curriculum, but the development of that, and also the actual maintaining of that and running that through. We do training delivery, as I was saying earlier in Mantas's presentation earlier. It's something which we really have seen an increase in. A lot of centres are very interested in our training offer, and that can range from basically, someone like me doing a presentation about BTEC through to someone coming along and actually training people to become trainers. We call it the Master Training Programme. We also offer teacher training courses as well, and a whole range of things. So get ready to teach. So if you're going to take on a BTEC qualification, we actually provide the training for that, and also get your centre ready to teach that qualification. We do assessment services, so if you're looking at more of an academic side, we do a lot of the A-level exams, GCSE exams, but then also assessment services in also BTECs. We have our quality assurance processes for that, and then the education technology which we offer. So increasingly we're offering learning platforms. Something we're looking at the moment and we're launching is something called Progress. And that's really going to be a valuable tool to centres delivering BTEC, because it's going to give them the ability to go in and manage their whole course online, and also give the students the ability to manage their own course. And that, I think the advantage of that, and something which is often overlooked, is the mobility of that. So wherever they are, students can log in on their mobile phones or on their laptops and have a look, see where they are with their grading and what they have to do, look at their latest assignments, or even hand in their work, which is it's fantastic. There we go. So a little bit more about Pearson. As I said, we've got about 24,000 employees worldwide. We are present in over 70 countries. BTEC currently is in 73 different countries worldwide, and that is continuing to grow. I came into this job 2.5 years ago, and that number was below 70. So we're really growing, and it's something which we continue to do. BTEC is a product which I'm very proud and passionate about, having taught it and managed it for over 10 years myself. So it's something which we really like to promote, and we're taking it all over the world at the moment, which is really exciting. With the BTECs, we've got over 1 million students choose to do BTEC each year, and 1 in 4 of those students who do a BTEC will actually progress onto university with that BTEC alone. So, and then there's others who will do a BTEC which will accompany academic qualifications, and they'll also use that to go to university. But it's 1 in 4 who use it on its own right to go on to university. And as I've already said, we work with governments, schools, colleges, universities, donor organisations, business to business, and something which we're really starting to increase now is the direct to customer link as well. And that's very much as I was just saying, so students can actually log in and use our qualifications. Schools, can have that platform for students to log in and do their work online, which again is so important with today's climate of online learning, and we call it blended learning, where some of it is face-to-face and then some of it is online. So what is a BTEC? Mantas did a fantastic job just now talking about BTEC and the processes which you go through should your centres offer it, but looking at what it actually is. So the BTEC philosophy, it's a work-related education programme, and the whole idea of it is to really introduce students to the area, the vocational area which they're interested in, but also then give them that in-depth knowledge of that. So if it's sport they're looking at going into, there's different pathways within sport which you as a centre can choose to offer to your students. And it really focuses in on those key points. So it might be the business and management route which they choose to do in sport. And then you're bringing in a qualification which doesn't just look at the sport aspects, you're looking at a lot of the business side of it as well. And as I said, it's work-related education programs. So it's what skills are those students going to utilize when they go out into the workplace. They're modular, the BTECs are modular in design. So the learning outcome-based units, so they work to those learning outcomes. And when they pass a learning outcome, they can move on. The progress, you can progress from one level to another. So we offer from level, below level 1, but something that's interesting for international purposes, we go from level 1 through to level 7, with the most common one on an international basis being level 3. You could use these to address local needs, which is something which is a key selling point of BTECs. If there is a particular need in your country or your region, you can really adapt the BTEC to fit that need. There might be a skills shortage within your country, or there might just be recent initiatives. So we're working at the moment with clients in Japan. And obviously with the Olympics, these clients are introducing the sport qualification. So they've brought very much into the whole Olympic side of it and really looking at that and how that's going to benefit the country. There's practical assessment, which obviously is, it's the main point of BTEC. It's not just about students sitting in an exam room, learning for a couple of years and then putting down all the information they know. It's about the students, being assessed as they go along. So that might be through presentations, it might be through written reports, but it can also be through more practical elements like role plays or demonstrations. It might be a coaching certificate or it might be a business presentation. So it really enriches that student's ability and knowledge of not just the course, but their ability to actually present and work with others. There's a real teamwork emphasis on BTEC. And then also it's accessible to learners of all ages. So normally we have age ranges, which these are focused at. So a level 3 would normally be 16 to 18-year-olds, but that doesn't stop people from being older and doing these qualifications. And depending which countries we offer this in, we often see people at 19, 20, going up to 30 or above doing these courses to just increase their skill level. And again, that's something which is increasing, is workplaces taking these qualifications and enrolling their students onto it to increase their skills and their knowledge of that particular industry. The other advantage of a BTEC, it can be taught in local language. So it doesn't have to be taught in English. It can be adapted and taught in your own local language, which is just another fantastic point to it. They're very flexible. So we have short courses through to much longer courses. So the smallest level 3 would be 180 guided learning hours. And that could be done probably over the period of 6 months or less, depending on how much time you actually dedicate to it. And then going up to the largest level, which is normally done over a 2-year period, and that's 1,080 guided learning hours. And that's the equivalent to 3 A levels, and also that is the size qualification which English universities look at for progression into university with a BTEC alone. Now, if they were doing other academic qualifications and they wanted to do a BTEC just to enhance that skills and that knowledge, then they could probably look at doing a 180 or a 360 size and then put it alongside their academic qualifications. So they're really flexible. They can be done over however long you want. They can be done full-time or part-time. So, really adaptable to the centre that's delivering them. Okay, so BTECs are internationally recognised. As I said, we work with ministries of education around the globe to actually recognise these qualifications and put them onto their frameworks within their own countries, so that the students can actually do that as part of the official curriculum. And also they're internationally recognised by universities. So when students finish, they're able to go to universities either within Europe or over to America, Australia, New Zealand, etc. So that's a key part to them. And also they're internationally recognised by by the workforce as well. So we work with large multinationals when we're designing these qualifications, and we also work with universities when we design them to make sure that they meet the needs of those people, so that when the students progress, you know, that they're not fighting, or they're not trying to have to prove their worth of that qualification. So in terms of the skills which are learned from studying a BTEC, as I mentioned, we have the employability skills, and these can be cognitive and problem-solving skills, interpersonal skills, and also intrapersonal skills. So again, really those soft skills of looking at how problems are actually approached. What a lot of people find, and feedback we get, particularly with universities when students have progressed with a BTEC, is that what they might lack slightly on the academic writing side, they more than make up for in their practical approach to their course and their time management, and how they actually hand in the work and present the work. And that is far above what they see from the more academic learners who come through, because the BTEC learners have actually been doing this already for a couple of years previously. They also learn the transferable skills. So when they go into the workplace, or they move from a workplace onto another, they have the ability to learn independently, which is such a key thing. We often hear about, I don't know if it's a term that you have in Lithuania or Latvia, but it's called spoon feeding. And it's where, you know, the students are often just given the information and they just have to memorize it and then regurgitate it. Well, with a BTEC, it's actually about them going out and finding the answer themselves, and really kind of enhancing their ability to learn independently. It's the ability to research actively and methodically, and also being able to give presentations and being active group members. So as I said, that teamwork environment, very much like they would find out in the workplace. So as I mentioned, we offer below level 1, but key for international, we go from level 2 through to level 7. And level 3 is normally the progression to university. And then also we offer level 4 and 5, which is known as our higher nationals. So level 4 is a higher national certificate, and level 5 is a higher national diploma. And the great thing about those is that you can use a higher national certificate or the diploma as the first year or 2 year of a full degree program. So you can do those and then progress to many universities and complete your full degree. So it's great because it gives you kind of a safety net as you go along. So you're actually gaining qualifications rather than going to university, doing a full degree straight away and finding out at the end that you haven't managed to pass everything. You do things on a yearly basis. So you're always getting those qualifications and building up that knowledge. And then we have the specialist qualifications, which really focus at industry, where the workplaces will put their workforce onto qualifications. An example of this is we offer something in oil and gas, which is really taken on by companies such as Petronas, and they put their workers through that. So in terms of what is a BTEC International Level 3, as I said, we start at the lowest or the smallest. It's not, they're all the same level, but it's the smallest size, which is a certificate. And there students will do normally about 2 units or 3 units, depending on the subjects which they're doing, whether that's business, art and design, sport, etc. And then they can either progress onto the next level, which is the extended certificate, which is the largest size, or you might just enroll them straight onto a full 2-year program. So it really depends. Like I said, they're very flexible, very adaptable, both to you as a centre and also to your students. And again, it gives that safety net, which is really good. So if you enroll a student on a diploma, on a 720 size, for example, the units are all nested, which means that they'll do units on that 720, which if they achieve, it means they've also achieved the 180, the 360, the 540 sizes. So if they decide they don't want to complete the 720, they're leaving with another qualification, which they've already achieved. So that's a really good point of the BTECs. And then, as I said, we offer these in a whole range of subjects. So we have applied science, we have art and design, business, construction, IT, sport, travel and tourism. So really, you know, a wide spread of different subjects there, 14 in total. And, you know, we also do the specialist qualifications or the, you know, the bespoke qualifications, where if you've got something particular that you want to offer as a centre, we can actually write qualifications for you as well. Obviously that comes with a cost. It's not something which you take straight off the shelf. But it's also something which we see, you know, becoming popular with international centres. And something which we're really seeing as well is those more short courses. So students can actually come in and they can do a course, as I said, just to enhance the knowledge which they've gained through their academic course. So we offer things of courses of about 25 hours as well, which students are able to get a certificate from. And that's available on something, another platform which we have called Learning Hub, which is it's a digital resource, and students are actually able to log in and do these short courses through Learning Hub. And they include subjects such as artificial intelligence or robotics, etc. And then new for 2020 and 21, which is something where, you know, these are key things which we're very proud of. We have sport is something which we've always offered. It's a very popular qualification, but this year, or the great thing for this year and going forwards, is that we've partnered with Liverpool Football Club. And those of you that aren't really interested in football or soccer, it just really, Liverpool is one of the main football clubs in the country and also on an international basis. And they've come along and they've really supported and endorsed the qualification, so much so they actually have put their badge onto the qualification now. So we do that in partnership with them. And they've said that this qualification really gives the students exactly what they need to progress into the sporting industry. And we're seeing that on other qualifications as well. So we've got the School of Marketing who are endorsing our marketing qualification. And then we have other companies who endorse our business qualifications. And then also new for this year is esports. So the esports Federation have come on board and developed a qualification with us. And this is a growing, a very much growing industry, and something which I think people of a certain age won't really get, and will think that it's a case of students learning how to play online games. But it goes far further than that, and it's all about the business of online gaming, setting up events, how you design those games. It is some of it is actually about being a participant, but it's something which is really growing, particularly in the Far East and in the Middle East as well. And then our teaching resources, as I said, we've got a new platform called Learning Hub, and we're working on we're about to launch this other platform, Progress, which really helps that online blended learning. So just moving through now, just looking at the benefits of the BTEC qualification, which we've been through already. You know, there's benefits for you as education institutions, benefits for the learners, but also going beyond that as well, and benefits for employers.
Matt, just a quickie here. We have about 3 minutes left. Just make sure you fit in. Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So just BTEC recognition, university, 95% of UK universities and colleges accept students with a BTEC. Over 50 plus UK universities have higher national agreements, and over 260 universities worldwide accept students with BTEC International Level 3, including USA, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. So in other countries around the world, students can progress from HND to a final year of the undergraduate program, which I was talking about earlier. I'm actually going to skip through the next few slides because I've talked about them a lot. It's about the higher national diplomas. Again, it's extending that career-focused education and really enhancing the student's skills. So giving that student a pathway right from the age of, in the Netherlands, they start teaching BTECs at the age of 12, which is very young, but it takes the students right up until they're 20, 21 and beyond for those professionals who want to come back into learning. So I hope that's given you an overview of BTEC. Any questions I think will be taken later. So thank you very much for giving me this space to talk, and I'll pass back. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Matt. Yeah, I think it was a very comprehensive insight about BTEC platform, and I was actually quite amazed about its scale. So it's a really, really good thing that you guys do and spreading the message worldwide. Right. Regarding questions, I think we can leave that to the later stage of the conference in the end where we have the discussion. But for this purpose, I need you guys to write questions in the chat box that we have in the Zoom. I'm pretty sure you can all find the chat and type your questions if they've popped in your mind, just not to forget about them. Cool. We're gonna take a 10-minute break now. So guys, stretch your legs, grab some cup of coffee or whatever it is that you want, and I meet you back here at 11:12 Baltics time. See you then. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had some refreshments, some opportunity to grasp fresh air and feel energized to continue participation in this conference. So in our program, we now have two presentations, and then after that, a discussion, which is the reason I'm reminding you about questions that you can type in the chat box and Zoom platform. And we'll see about how many of those come in, and we can have a discussion afterwards in the very end of this conference. But now we will hear two presentations from city of Ventspils in Latvia and city of Panevėžys in Lithuania. And the topics are the same, work skills program in Ventspils and in Panevėžys. So let's start with Ventspils, and the presentation would be given by Elvis and Skaidrīte from Ventspils Vocational College. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, hope you hear me well. Thank you, Oscar. I will share my screen. Hope you see it well. And also, of course, hello to all the participants of this conference, to our partners, and to all the attendees. And yes, about our presentation, myself, my name is Elvis. I represent Ventspils Vocational College as project manager. So I will tell a little bit about our institution and about the programs and a little bit about the projects. And then I will forward microphone to Skaidrīte, who is our BTEC Center quality expert. She will tell about how it went here with the BTEC program. So Ventspils Vocational College was established in 1906, but at that point it wasn't Ventspils Vocational Colleges, but it was a trade school. And then when we regained our independence, we went under the Ministry of Education and Science of the Republic of Latvia. And now we are having here 750 students. Total of programs 11, and you can see here as well the spectrum of the programs that we have here, and I will touch in the next slides as well these programs. About our tasks and aims, so the first and the main is of course to establish a vocational secondary education offer in the Ventspils and in the Kurzeme region to meet the economy needs. And the second one is to develop a learning environment that meets the modern requirements, and this is where the projects comes in. The third one is quality assurance. The fourth one is to attract new teachers and of course to increase their professional qualifications as well. The fifth one is to provide the function of the methodical center, and last but not least, to establish and implement lifelong learning activities. And as I mentioned before, we have in Ventspils Vocational College 11 programs that are divided into 4 sectors. The first sector is networks and automated systems. The second one is information communication technologies. The third one, mechanical engineering, metalworking, and automotive. And the final, hospitality and tourism. And all these photos you can see here, they are from our institution photos. So our school is very well occupied, and you will see in the next slides how we done this. And so we land to the project section, and in the last project planning period, which was from 2014 to 2021, we have invested here in our institution around 80 million euros. In 2014, we purchased our first electric vehicle, so we are thinking about sustainability as well. In 2015, and this is the I think the century project for or institution. So we invested here 15.5 million euros. So in the left and picture in the left, you can see how our school looked before. So that building, I believe you know that you can fit 750 students there. So we had to expand. And so this project, of course, EU funded project and our government funded project. And you can see in the picture on the right where these two complex buildings, extra complex buildings were built. So our students now have, when they wake up, 1 minute and they are in their classroom. And 2019, so when we got the infrastructure done, we had to invest in the equipment as well. So this project was around 2.5 million euros. So we invested in equipment to modernize most of the programs that we implement here and provide here in Ventspils Vocational College. And in 2020, so the last year, this is something from the future we are really proud of. We opened a virtual reality classroom in Next Generation Microcities of Europe project. So yes, now our students and our teachers as well can explore the world without going anywhere. So the tourism program, also the automotive and other programs can be studied here in this class, of course, when the face-to-face meeting returns. So this is a pretty interesting thing that we want to share when we present our school. And 2021, and this is the reason why we are here today, deployment of high standards of knowledge, practical skills and understanding required for better employment in the regions. So Mantas touched this project from the administrative point of view. Pearson representative Matt told about the program itself, about the BTEC itself. And yes, here we had a qualification work skills for 60 our students. So yes, from now I will forward the microphone to Skaidrīte, who is a quality expert in our BTEC center, and she will tell more about how the program was implemented here. So thank you, and Skaidrīte, please.
Yes, thank you, Elvis, for introducing the project. And as you saw in the previous slide, so the key words of the project were high quality, knowledge, skills, and employment. So that's why we had a question, whether you are a new graduate trying to figure out how to get a leg up in your career, or you are a mid-career professional looking to secure your next promotion. In our so fast changing world, everybody might be wondering, what are the most important skills you need to help you get where you really want to go? And it's even more important if we consider what Matt said, that in the future, our students will have to do some jobs which we have no idea, no notion about. Then certainly job-specific skills and competencies are at the basis of every profession. And I think that vocational education is excellently equipping students with these skills. But these social skills are also very crucial for every person. Like Matt said, they are the skills which help you and show how you function in the workplace, how you interact with others. And these skills, I consider that they are not so easily taught, and how to measure these skills, but all of us, we need them. And additionally, I think that in our fast changing world, we also have to know how to show or how to demonstrate all the skills we really have, because we can be very good professionals. We can have social skills, but we are not able to show to the employer what we really can do. Can you, Elvis, next slide, please? So, and we consider that BTEC's Level 3 certificate in work skills, this program provided this possibility to develop very specific skills that everybody knows to be successful throughout all working life. Not only students, but everybody. Very often, certainly, we can learn these skills during all our life. But this was possibility to give the students these skills before they start their work life. So the aim of this qualification was to give learners knowledge, skills, and understanding what they need, how to prepare for their work life. And certainly, like Matt already stressed, this program is very practical. So it helped and it gave possibility to make this link between theoretical learning and the real world of work by giving the students a possibility to research, to investigate, and certainly do various activities in work-related context. And uh, speaking about lifelong learning, as the students will have to proceed. So I think that one of the key aspects for lifelong learning is to give everybody the skill learning to learn. That means that we have to be able to look into ourselves, which is not easy at all, to look at your own skills, to look at your own personality, think where you are, think what you need, and then think how you can improve your own skills so that you proceed with that. And this program also gave this possibility to analyze yourself, to develop your own plans and go to your plans. Next slide, please. And as you already know, so level 3 certificate needs 180 training hours. And Matt already said that it is very flexible approach, the program building. All work skills program offers 24 units. So to reach this level 3 certificate, the school had to choose the most important and the most useful themes for their students. And this is our choice, which was chosen. So mathematics is very easy, 180 hours. Each unit is 30 hours of training. That means 6 units to learn. So in this program, there are no mandatory units, so it means that the school could use their own themes as they need. And now maybe a little bit about each of the units. So as you see, maximizing potential when applying for a job, these were the skills the students have to acquire to be able to assess, research, and assess different sources of information. They have to understand how to use that information in their job application. And certainly at the end, based on all this information, they prepared documents for job application. If we speak about Unit 3, these are strategies to improve job interview skills. So the students analyzed their previous experience, identified their own areas for improvement, and then very practically prepared for job interview, where they had to practically demonstrate their ability to participate in a job interview. And afterwards, again, reflect on their work and prepare recommendations where they saw maybe some weak points and how they can improve these skills. Unit number 4 was preparing for work placements. So that is actually what vocational schools do, not only theoretical learning, but going to institution or enterprise. So the students had to learn about various types of organizations and enterprises, about their structure, about functions, and certainly had a very thorough investigation of their own placement or organization. While preparing for that work placement, they understood also all the expectations and responsibilities of the employer and also of themselves. And they analyzed and also prepared their plan, how they see what skills they can develop while being on enterprise. Unit number 9 is about presentations for work. We all know how difficult or easy it is to give a presentation that satisfies ourselves. The students had to learn about various types, various ways, how we can present different things in workplace situations. Certainly, the next step is learning how to plan, how to prepare for a presentation, thinking about specific audience. And the next task for them was to deliver a presentation, and afterwards again analyze your own presentation and prepare a plan for improvement. Project management skills. So we know that there are a lot of projects, smaller or larger, and the students learned about the process of how to manage it, how to start and how to finish successfully it, what knowledge and what skills we need for that. So then they analyze their own skills regarding project management, and planned a specific project for a given audience. And the last unit was skills for starting a business. The main aim was for the students to understand what skills are required for doing a business, for starting a business, and certainly again to assess their own skills, professional and personal skills for starting a business and preparing a self-development plan. For us grown-ups who are already maybe doing on our everyday basis in education, these things might seem quite simple, but it's not that at all when you start your work life and you really think about very many details how to improve these things. Can I have next slide, please? So then you already, Mantas already said about some aspects which were very essential for program delivery. And it was a real challenge for the whole school as it was a new experience in many aspects. In the scheme, you can see where we have put down the most essential elements that were crucial for successful implementation of the program. To achieve the best results, it was important to combine all of these elements into one overall integrity. So certainly the main focus and the result was student skills and competencies. Student skills and competencies are assessed internally. That means by the teachers teaching the unit. But at the end, all the processes and students' works are, well, they're not really maybe assessed, but they are verified by external verification from BTEC. So, and that was whether the students' works and their skills really match these international standards. So, and these elements are certainly the program, where the teachers had to understand all the contents, all the aims, objectives, what is expected, what learning outcomes they have to reach with the students, including skills, very practical skills, and also the criteria against which the learner's level of attainment is measured. So after having chosen and understood the program, the context, and all the things that are included in the program, the teachers had to prepare the training material, and also think about the training process, how to plan all this so that it goes smooth, because there are also such processes which in our everyday life teachers do not use. And this was internal verification, which Mantas already spoke about. So which means that my assignments, my tasks for student assessment are looked through by my colleague. and he looks and sees whether this assessment is right and can be used to measure the students' achievements. And the students in the program, there are criteria, and to get the certificate, the students have to reach all the criteria. It can't be that I can do half of that and miss something I cannot succeed to reach. So all the criteria should be reached, and that was really very big responsibility. So then a next task was to think about assessment tools. That means how, in what way we are going to see that the students really reach and the students really have learned and they have proved not only to the teachers but also to this external verifier with evidence material that yes, they have reached the skills which are required to achieve in this program. And certainly very important was students' own initiative, students' work and students' discipline, as you see that 30 hours for one unit is not too much. In that time, they have to learn, they have to prepare all the documents, they have to prepare evidence material, and they have to hand in on the right day. It's not like, yes, uh, leaving for some later time. So can I have the next slide, please? Yes, and just a few words about assessment tools, which were also a little bit different from our everyday life. If we speak about them, then certainly, like previous speakers already said, that assessment tools they are linked to a vocational scenario. It's not just telling and speaking about theoretical things which we know, but they had to apply this knowledge and skills to their vocation, to very realistic context. So the next criteria was to think about how the students can provide authentic evidence to minimize plagiarism and malpractice. And it means that we had to think about very personalized, individualized tasks. Then the next criteria was reliability and make the tasks so that they give sufficient information, sufficient proof to assess the skills. And the last was practicable. It means that they had to be suitable just for the students' level, suitable for the time which we give them to do these tasks. And so then we had to think in what form to get this evidence material for the students. So, and then might be written documents, but you see that the students don't like to write too much. So we thought about other ways how to make it more engaging, more interesting. So where it was possible, certainly the students were offered to make video and audio recordings of their performance. Their role plays, job interview simulations, video recording of their presentations. So they were offered also to make visual material to prove that they are doing the things with photographs, diagrams, drawings, and leaflets. Activities were given practical activities that related to specific job role, and certainly they could make also web-based material. The next, please. So as I said, it was very important also think about the quality assurance during all the program implementation time. So the first issue we were thinking about was about student recruitment and how just tell the students inform them about the requirements, about all the policies and all the things which they have to observe while working on their evidence material. Certainly also attendance, as we started the program implementation with face-to-face, but then had to move to remote delivery due to COVID-19. So this was also the key issue. Then for the teachers and for the students, it was keeping to the procedures. As I said, some of them were quite new to our everyday life. To reach this quality, we did quite a lot of staff training, internal staff training on procedures, on resources, how to write these assignments, how to prepare evidence material, in what form they should be prepared and handed in, how to do internal verification. And certainly very important was to reach this common understanding of action verbs, as they proved if the students have reached the demanded criteria. So to see that really this program implementation reaches the students' needs and interests, we made student survey and also gathered some information from teachers involved. Next, please. So now a few words about student survey. So as you see, the students' motivation to study in the program, number one is the possibility to get international recognition of internationally recognized certificate. Certainly, this is a very good privilege for these students to get that high quality certificate as an added value to their certificate, which they will get for their vocational education from the college. Students also stressed that their motivation was to get new experience through this international program and improve their skills. Next, please. So speaking about the units which were most engaging, you see that the students have valued the strategies to improve job interview skills and project management skills, and also these skills which they maximize when applying for jobs, and skills for starting a business. Next, please. So speaking about the skills, which we asked them to think about what skills they improved, that as you see, number one is social skills, which are really, so during the program in various ways were developed. Then number two are own initiative and business skills. And number three, digital skills. Certainly digital skills were developed thanks to COVID-19, because the students had to prepare all their work mainly using technologies. And well, that was really a big challenge for them, I would say. And next, please. The most valuable experience which they acquired. So as I said, we really talked with them about the timing and these things, and they have stressed that that was determination to start and to finish the course. And the second was experience working with computer, acquiring new skills with video making, with editing all their work, and communicating with teachers through the learning process. And number four, which I already mentioned, was, and we are happy that students also appreciate that these are skills to analyze themselves, look into themselves, and analyze their own skills. Next, please. So now a few words about the teachers. So we have talked with them quite a lot, but there are some some things. So number one was certainly technical difficulties and technical issues, as we started, like I said, with face-to-face, but then just in a few days we had to change all the process, all the training to remote training. Some technical internet connection, students who had no so smart devices to prepare their evidence to the best quality that like they would prepare them. But certainly the school helped, and these problems were quickly resolved with the support from senior management. Next, please. Then another certainly was this technical, but also the communication with the students, and also the acquisition of the skills. Like we mentioned, that it is very practical approach, and being in the classroom in every day, you see the students and you can help them just on the moment at that time when you see that the students need your support, your advice. There it was more difficult using communication, sending back and all the time, just analyzing these things to give and to get the precise feedback about the students' success during learning process, and also to give them precise feedback about their achievement. That's why a lot of individual work was done. Next, please. And one of the key findings and conclusions from the teachers is about teamwork, which also was a little bit different from our everyday life when we come together, discuss, plan the things together. This was a bit different way when you ask your colleagues' opinion and expertise on your own work. And I think that was a really very good experience, that you have a friend who cannot maybe criticize you, but give advice, see, and this is really gives you confidence and confirmation that you are doing the things in the right way. And this is so-called shared responsibility for the job, which all of us were doing in the project. Next, please. So, and these were already mentioned, some of these features already mentioned, but these are also which we noticed when implementing the program. Like I said, this was a specially tailored program for Ventspils College to meet local demands and also consider students' needs. Like I said, it was rooted in very real world. The situations were taken from vocational context and real situations which they might meet when going to enterprise. It was skill based, so developing not theoretical knowledge, but developing the skills through theoretical knowledge, and based on research and practical approach. And certainly I mentioned already this self-evaluation and self-study, and very big personal development impulse. So then also it gave a big possibility to external links, collaboration with local community and employers. Certainly, COVID didn't allow us to use this possibility. But if we speak about that, we were planning that, for example, job interviews would be done in real work environment with employers' participation, presentations also given to the employers about the issues they are interested in. So there were planned visits to enterprises, to labor agency, to libraries, but due to lockdown, so it was impossible to carry out. But this is, in normal situation, a very good opportunity to build this collaboration with employers and enterprises. Next, please. So now very shortly about the challenges. The biggest challenge is certainly COVID-19 influence was the biggest one. Then I already spoke about this minimized possibilities to use out of school and out of class activities. Also, big work was done to reach this common understanding of the program and all the implementation requirements and quality assurance issues. And also the everyday work organization, so keeping strictly to the procedures, to the timings, to the standards. So that was all the teamwork we did. Next, please. And the benefits. So for the students, certainly, like I said, and they also stressed that for the future life, it is deep understanding of their own personality, of their own strengths, of their development. And I think that they understood how important it is to proceed with own development all the time. So look at yourself, analyze, set aims, and go further. Only this is the way for self-development. So certainly very practical things, skills and understanding, which will help them directly with career progression as they are school leavers, and in summer they will start their work life. And certainly also these that their skills have been internationally recognized, and they will get this international certificate, which was a great motivator for them. So for the staff, it was really new experience to work in globally recognized program delivery, which new aspects, which yes, will complement certainly teachers' work in their well everyday training process. That is this real world and contextualized approach. Think also in their own subjects how to implement that, verify assessment strategies and methods, and certainly this collaboration with a colleague who can help you to get this confirmation and confidence. Yes, I'm doing the right thing. And certainly for the college, I think that it is also big added value that they have now the right to implement this program for other students, and certainly they have got this international experience working with other standards, working with other these processes. And at the end, I would like to thank, first of all, the Pearson experts for training and methodological support, which we got every moment when we needed that. Then certainly big thanks to college administration for the support to overcome all the difficulties. Then project management for their persistence and keeping the staff on the track and all the time moving us forward and always finding solutions. And certainly to the teachers who were involved for their hard work with the students in these times. So thank you. This was Ventspils Technical College experience in work skills implementation.
Yes, thank you, Skaidrita. Thank you, Elvis. That was the story from Ventspils. Matt in the chat is saying this is really useful feedback and information. Great to hear. So yes, we will have a few questions in the discussion part. We are a little bit behind the schedule, but I hope you are okay with this. We're now moving to Panevėžys, to Lithuania, and we have a tandem that is going to present their experience. Justina and Vaida, the floor is yours.
Thank you. First of all, good morning for some participants and good afternoon for other participants. It's a great pleasure to take part into this final conference of the project that Mantas had presented, and you heard a lot of interesting experiences from all the sides. And now we are going to speak shortly in order to save and fit into the agenda of the conference. So I, as a project manager of this Deploy Skills project, I'm going to share you some short insights on benefits and challenges that we had experienced during this project. So previous colleagues mentioned that it was cooperation, networking inside organization and outside organization. So I would like to say big thank you to Latvian colleagues and other team participants for helping us and assisting when it's necessary. So it's really that cooperation and networking has no borders, and you can reach all the goals if you are really building a team and you are working as a team. So thank you very much, Elvis, and all Latvian team, and also for Lithuanian partners. So what challenges we had faced as a previous speaker, Ms. Skaidrste mentioned, it was really quite a lot of challenges at our side as well. So first of all, what our team experienced, it was the possibility, and it took us some time to understand how this international qualification is developed and what is the procedure and how the BTEC Center works itself, because it was a little bit different in comparison with Lithuanian educational system. So it took some time for us, for all team, for assessors, for verifiers, and for program managers to understand it. So it was a challenge, but I hope we really reached it and we managed to overcome all obstacles in that area. Also, it's a different structure of quality assurance, assessment, and internal verification. So it's really require teamwork inside the program implementing team. So it's different that assessor and verifier, they work together. And as Skaidrste mentioned, it's not criticizing, it's helping, it's advising, it's giving a hand when necessary, and even having some discussions what is better for the student in order to develop his personal skills and to develop them in practical way. Especially when our students are really quite young, around 18, they're only about to enter the labor market. So it means they don't have previous experience. So we need to try to develop their skills to be ready for entering labor market. So we thought about various tasks for them to be able to handle, even though not having previous experience. So we made quite a lot of simulation things. And it's really what was also a big challenge that we haven't faced before is online teaching. In comparison with Latvian partners, they had few lessons, I guess, in working face-to-face, but our all program was delivered online. So online teaching has its own challenges, starting from technical point of view to have everything functioning, to have proper devices and not slow internet connection, also to delivering the lessons. Especially it was quite complicated at the beginning to do group works and to make role plays. It's not the same as you are doing in the classroom in a classical way. And when the teacher is really here to see how it's developing and could give a hand or a push to the right side or make a discussion. And when the student is just from the screen, it's different. And for students, it was challenging. And the teachers also mentioned that at the beginning it was challenging, but later everybody understand how it's working and how it's functioning. So this is the challenges that we also benefited from them while working in this program. And what is the benefits? As Skaidrste mentioned, it's established BTEC Center that is giving international qualification, and it's also like added value of quality to our school. Also, all this BTEC Center team that was working on implementation of this program experienced in all the processes and learned from them, and probably they are going to use some of these experiences and procedures into their daily educational processes. And the most important is the big benefits for students who learned practical things, soft skills developed, that are really necessary for labor market. And it's the most important that we also stress that it's internationally recognized. It gives really a lot of added value to them. Of course, when student is trained according to international needs and following the procedures recognized, also the benefit goes to businesses where they will be employed. And also, not the last, it's a benefit for the region, for local businesses operating in the region, because they will get really qualified workers. And as Matt in the first part of the conference mentioned, so it's approximately over 60% of students who had graduated the work skills program, they get really good jobs and they really succeed working and developing their career. So this is really great benefit for school, for local, for region, and for all the partners who had been implementing this project and established BTEC Center. And the last slide, that we're really proud to be internationally wide known with our project work. So we're implementing not only this project from Interreg program, but also from Erasmus Plus program. And we are happy to be here. And thank you very much for taking this opportunity to speak with you. And I'm now giving the floor to my colleague, Vaida. She was BTEC lecturer, and she will explain how it worked from another side.
Yeah. Right. So hello for everybody. And so today I would like to represent the international project deployment of high standards of knowledge, practical skills and understanding required for better employment in the regions. So first of all, I would like to thank you for all Lithuanian team and for participating in that project. We are very grateful and very satisfied. And the project is like climbing to Everest. We faced with challenges that eventually became opportunities, gained experience and knowledge, teamwork, deepening into individual units gave us the opportunity to look at different professions, job interviews, various situations and problems arising at work from diverse perspectives. Through teamwork, we realized that having a clear vision, strategy, and planning of teaching process helped us to achieve the goal we pursued responsibly and decisively. And during the project, we worked with two groups of 20 people of each. And after long discussions with students, educators, partners, was decided to train that units, career development, strategies to improve job interview skills, personal skills for leadership, presentations for work, skills for a portfolio career, and critical thinking. The choice was expedient and non-random because after an abstract analysis of all units, it was agreed that the lecturers have basic knowledge and are competent enough to teach these units. And I would like to present these units in detail. So first of all, we are going to talk about career development and assignment title of this unit, identifying potential career pathways, finding out personal qualities, and focusing attention to the suitable and enjoyable career aspirations. In this slide, you can see the objective of the unit, career development. And the lecturer of the unit was Gražina Aparavičienė. She is a psychologist, and she states that leading this unit is an opportunity to use the knowledge I gained in the career design study program, and for a long time thought that graduating from this program was just a failed coincidence. By I realized nothing is accidental. So teaching career development, students were encouraged to learn more about themselves, examine their options in the profession they have chosen, and possibly in another if their first choice does not fully meet their expectations, and understand that their possibilities are to reconcile desires with real possibilities. And during the unit, students were encouraged to answer the following key questions: who am I? What do I want to know, and what can I do? And try to assess their options. What do I want? What can I do? And which way will I go? And here you can see the benefits of the unit career development. And it was the first unit of training. At first, it is not easy to be discouraged, to look for a personal strength, to analyze personal abilities and knowledge, but later students became bolder, more determined, able to base their choices on arguments, analyze the current situation, and plan for the future. Of course, in that unit, lecturer and students faced with challenges, and all the participants of the training have already chosen a profession, and the first step in planning their career is as done. But during the training, many participants realized that this is just the beginning, and maybe this is not personal dream way. Students understood that they can do more and planned fewer steps in their professional career, and various sources of job offers were analyzing during the unit in order to understand the situation in the labor market, assess their chances of finding a job, to match their desires with a real life situation. Another unit which was trained strategies to improve job interviews, and assignment title, evaluating existing competencies, identifying the advantages and improvement areas which will be useful during the participation in the job interview. Assessing preparation for a job interview and having a clear understanding on how to improve job interview techniques. And here you can see the objectives of strategies to improve job interview. Students have to choose the right job advertisement and plan specific steps for preparation for the job interview, where to look for information about job requirements, what and how to prepare documents, what questions to expect, how to prepare for an interview, and so on. Students also had to write a recommendation sheet with tips needed to prepare for a job interview, and students were interested in a topic related to possible questions that could be asked by the employer's team or the employer himself during a job interview. It was even more interesting interesting and helpful to get lots of advice and how to fit in, and how you can in no way separate those issues. And in this slide, you can see the name of a lecturer, the office unit, and she is Eugenia Susnienė, Lithuanian language teacher, methodologist, and she deeply believes that we will not longer be given a second chance to make a first impression. These words are from by Coco Chanel, our fashion icon. And here you can see the benefits of a Unit 3 and all the material of a unit, and the tasks performed were really very useful for the students, and the experience gained will be useful for achievement, desired job, and participating in the real job interviews. And I would like to describe the benefits. So the first benefit is preparing for a job interview. The second is the experience gained will be useful achievement, the desired job. And the third benefit is participating in real job interviews. And here you can see challenges of the unit about the job interview. And I would like to comment that I would like to describe the main challenges which was faced in this unit. So the first is commenting on the misbehavior and appearance of interviewers during the interview, and the second is analysis of positive moments of interview, and the third, observation, evaluation, discussion, and self-analysis or assimilation work interview. Most of the students don't have any work experience yet, so it was easy to simulate a job. It was not easy to simulate a job interview, present their skills, suitability for job, and another significant problem is that young people are not used to speak in public, so they are very excited and feel upset and are not always able to express themselves fluently. And the simulation job interview was a great opportunity to test themselves and get lecturers' advice. And the next unit was personal skills for leadership. And here you can see the objectives of unit. During this unit, students have possibility to explain skills required for successful leadership, also review personal skills and suitability for leadership, and compare leadership and management, and find out more about leadership styles in workplace situations, set objectives to plan development of personal skills for leadership, and also prepare an action plan to develop personal skills for leadership, and review own performance against action plan to develop personals of leadership. The lecturer of unit was I, Vaida Kučinskienė, English teacher methodologist, and I would like to comment this unit by the wisdom of Seneca. Leadership is change management, and no matter who you lead, the company or the state and the situation is changing, and you need to be creative, you need to adapt. Here you can see the benefits of Unit 8, and I would like to comment the first benefit which I observed, analyzing the difference between leader and manager. It was very interesting for students because they still don't have work experience, and probably this experience helped them in the future. And analysis of the qualities required for leadership and, of course, setting of SMART goals. But one of the benefits as the setting of SMART goals became a challenge for the students because they still don't have a work experience, and they at the first face with this term. So I would like to represent another unit, presentations for work, and the assignment title is presenting yourself and personal ideas at work or in any situation, getting acquainted with different presentation methods and their use possibilities in specific situations.
Vaida, just if you could
Yes.
finish in about 5 minutes or so, it would be very nice, since we're running out of time a bit.
Yes,
Please?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
Thank you.
yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so here you can see the objective of Unit 9. Yes, presentation for work. And the lecturer was Vilija Karetienė, geography teacher, methodologist, and she shares the ideas how to prepare a good presentation. Only 2 principles are enough: as little text as possible on the slides, and improve what you say as much as possible, not what you show on the screen. And the benefits of this unit is planning of a presentation and preparation of the slides using PowerPoint. And I would like to describe the challenges. Challenges is public speaking presentation. And another unit is skills for a portfolio career. Here you can see the objectives. And lecturer is Gražina Paravichenė, psychologist, and she states that portfolio of your competence can be linked to investments. If you invest everything in one market, you can expect higher returns, but you can also suffer losses. And the benefits of the unit 9 is wider adjustment in the labor market, knowledge of the several professions, and possibility to combine a hobby with a work activities is very important and useful. And challenge is one challenge: students' portfolio of competences in this day is very thin, and students would like to have in already solid. And the last unit, which Lithuanian team trained, critical thinking. And here you can see the objectives of critical thinking. The lecturer was Eglė Petrauskė, special educator, and she strongly believes to think openly and curiously, to think carefully about all possible solutions to problem, and to make decisions based on sound facts in the sense of critical thinking. And here you can see the benefits of unit critical thinking. It's to improving critical thinking skills and compiling a list of available critical thinking qualities. And talking about benefits, challenges of critical thinking, it's anticipating and dealing with situations at work that require critical thinking, because it was a bit harder to create and anticipate work-related situations that require critical thinking. Since not all students have work experience, we had to improvise and think what if, but really all the tasks encourage critical thinking analysis. And here's some feedback of the students you can see, and thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing the experience of the Panevėžys school. So let's start the little discussion or Q&A session. I don't have very many questions coming in through chat box, but still you have an opportunity to do so. So if you have something, or just raise your virtual hand in the Zoom platform, and we can switch on your mic and ask a question. Justina, you mentioned that online teaching obviously was a big challenge for teachers and also for the overall organization of the process. Anything else apart from this COVID impact and being online because of this? Any other challenges for the teachers while running this program?
Well, it was, first of all, as mentioned, it was the challenges of teaching online because we did all implementation of the program online, but also it was for the teachers and the internal verifiers, quite complicated to communicate with each other online as well, but we managed to solve it. Of course, understanding of the process, it took some time to really overcome all the processes and procedures of developing the program, what steps we have to take, what we have to produce, and how to manage all the aspects of it, and how to meet the quality requirements of Pearson, and to do it in the best way for teachers, for students, for the program itself.
Mm-hmm. All right. Skaidrita, you mentioned that there was this emphasis on learning to learn, and that I catch those two words, and I thought that is really great. Could you elaborate a little bit more about what activities did contribute to this learning to learn for students?
So learning to learn, that is really very difficult for everyone. And certainly, first of all, so learning to learn means that you take responsibility for your own learning. That is, you are disciplined, you keep to the dates, you keep to the rules which are set for the program. And certainly, learning to learn is planning your time. When you do the tasks, planning the time when you hand in the things. And learning to learn certainly is based on the principle, what I already explained, that I analyze, I know what I know, I know what I don't know, and then I try to find out the ways how to move on, how to keep forward. And that I think also is at the basis of the BTEC program, where the students have to first of all stop at one point, look at yourself, so look at the skills which you have, and then you set plan, you set the targets, and you also plan the way how you will get to these points. The teachers talked with them about SMART goals. So what does it mean? You certainly can plan, I will do something, but it's important also to learn how you proceed to your goal. So that I think is the most important, so that students understand that they have to learn. There is nobody from outside who will do instead of them. The teachers can only help them, but they can't do instead of them. And they have to show the way, so how I proceed in my learnings. So that I think is skill, how I learn and to develop myself.
Right, right. Thank you so much. Elvis, if this program was run, in face-to-face type of delivery, what, if anything, would be different? What would be the opportunities that we've missed in this case, but could be potential?
I do not think we missed something because, of course, Justina and Skaidrita told about the challenges that we faced during the remote work and implementing programs in remotely. But I think the face-to-face, of course, it's different, and we all know how events happen in face-to-face communication. But also, this is a good example how events can be held online, and they can be great. And I think this is a great event, and I hope everyone who is listening enjoys it. So yes, of course, we are willing to come back face to face, but if I can, this is a question what I wanted to ask to Matt as well. How from your side, from Pearson's side, this remote work, because when we established BTEC Center, your team came here to Latvia, and now it occurs online. So maybe you can share your experience. Thank you.
Yes, Matt, what do you think about it? You're still there?
Yeah, so I think, thanks.
Right.
Yeah, we can't wait to be able to start doing face-to-face again. You know, I have an international role, and I'm missing being able to travel around and meet people face-to-face. I find that these sessions, that they're great. They let us talk about BTEC, and they let us meet yourselves, something we wouldn't be able to do, you know, in the current climate. But it does miss, I think we all feel that we miss that personal interaction, and you just can't replace that, you know, the feeling of being in the same room as people, to actually feel how they're receiving what you're saying. I think you look at the faces on the screen, and they're far, even though people put, you know, you have expressions on the faces, it's far less than you would get actually in a room. And also you don't get that two-way vocabulary going, two-way dialogue going, like you would actually in person. Because people are, when you're doing a presentation like this, and rightly so, people feel they have to wait until the end to ask a question, whereas in a room, people will put their hands up, and you'll have a much better fluidity to the conversation. And you can actually do demonstrations far easier when you're live actually in the same room. So as much as I think online is fantastic, and it allows you to, I think in a learning sense, it allows you to deliver the theory and keep up to date with the delivery of a course. It doesn't allow you to have that actual practical implementation, which you might actually need from some sessions, and that very spontaneous delivery, which I used to find I had in my BTEC delivery sessions. When an issue came up, you could just very easily adapt and start delivering something, or use something as a demonstration, and it's a lot harder when you're doing it online.
Right. Matt, you mentioned that you work internationally. Okay, we all miss traveling and meeting people in face to face. But anyways, you've seen many projects beyond these two examples from Ventspils and Peņķevežas. So what is your impression? Of course, you can be polite here, but anyways, try to also be as objective as possible. What are your observations about the process that has happened already, and what would be the, I don't know, spaces for improvement in future, if any?
Yeah, I think obviously I think with my role, I'm very much involved at the start, and I'm involved at the end. It's the middle bit I don't get involved so much. That's our regional managers that look after that. But the feedback I've had, I think it really supports everything that's been said. It seems to have been once it got going, there were delays at the start. I think once it got going, it's been a very successful initiative. But I think the side that I think a couple of people have mentioned is meeting the quality expectations of Pearson, because we have very strict quality assurance, and that is because of the practical nature of the course, in the sense that we don't have exams to mark, so we very much have to rely on the quality delivery of a centre. And also, you know, the work that they're marking. But I think overall, I think from the feedback I've had and what I've seen, I think it's been great. And I really hope that it's something that which we can build on now with the centres and also other centres in the countries.
I'm pleased to hear that. This is very nice. I mean, the results that have been achieved so far. Skaidrita, you also mentioned, I found it particularly interesting for myself as well, about what students think. And you've been making a surveys, and if I remember correctly, 50% of them said that they have improved their social skills, which I think is a big thing for any sort of educational institution, because usually in industry, the employers say that social skills is something that very many people lack. So how did you achieve this? Yeah, could you elaborate on this a bit more?
Well, I think initially it was already built in the program, so that you can't escape that. For example, yes, so that the students work in teams. So this is first of all communication, all the processes which are involved in that. So this is already involved in this program that. You certainly cooperate also with your teammates. There is a peer work and also peer assessment, for example. That all is involved, like teamwork, like communication skills, where you have to participate, let's say, in job interview, where you have to give presentations. So I think all of these are here in the program, and also like personal qualities and personal skills, which they also had to analyze, look at them, prepare the plans for the development. So the students really think what are these skills and how they might develop them. And I think a lot of students, well, certainly it's developed also in the programs and the teaching process which the students acquire in their vocation. But certainly it was also in this program as well. And when discussing with teachers, so we understood that this is the possibility which we can do during the training process.
Right. Thank you for this. We have a question coming in from Indre, and I think I would address it to Vaida, if I may. And Indre is asking, what about the principle learning to learn for teachers? Vaida, any comment?
Oh, okay, thank you for the question. And I think that teachers faced with challenge too, and we studied, we trained with the students together, because in spite of that fact, including that fact that all the teachers had enough knowledge. For example, I have leadership management a master degree. Yes, and other teachers have the same degree, but we also need specific knowledge, because we read a lot, we discussed a lot, and so we studied with students together.
Okay. Elvis, I'm wondering if there are any other schools besides your school in Ventspils that run this program?
I think in Latvia there's another one, hotel school in Riga. Mantas knows more about it, but he's from Lithuania. We are focusing on Ventspils now, but yes, I believe there is one school in Riga, but that's all. Yep.
You've mentioned Mantas. Mantas, could you comment on the situation in Lithuania? How widespread is BTEC program?
Well, I mean, these are recent developments. During the last and this year, we have additional BTEC centers, one in Kaunas and two in Vilnius, and in Panevėžys, one in Panevėžys, so 4 in general, which are already accredited in Lithuania.
Okay. That's it from my side in terms of questions. If we can wait for another 10 seconds if some question comes in through chat or somebody raises hand. Yeah, looking at this, probably not. Yes, so thank you very much for joining us today. The participation rate was quite high actually, and I love the energy and the dynamics and all the information that was very useful. A share of experience between the two countries plus the Pearson's international touch. So thank you once again for joining today. I wish you a nice Friday afternoon and the weekend as well, and the remaining professional duties in schools and beyond that. Thank you so much, and bye-bye. Cheers.